Welcome Jarunians, welcome to the new season. It may be a new season, but it is the same old delicious fillet burgers. So step up now, buy one, get the second one full price. This is the football team. You want value for money? Go down to Aldi.
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on The Impossible Dream. We start Season 9 today, Episode 1 obviously. The new season starts with Brdo and Hajduk split in the league. And as ever, when we start a new season, let's have a look at where we stand as a club. And the good news is, if I just quickly make myself disappear here, legendary status. So let's build this stadium now before Palumbo or somebody gets... I've already had to sell Robbers for being... Too highly thought of by the fans. Don't make me sell you too, Palumbo, because I'll do it. I want this stadium named after me. So yeah, that's that. If we have a quick actual look at the club, we are predicted to win the league this year, which is nice. We are obviously professional, 3-star, and we are in the Champions League. I am the manager. We've got Kakavenga as captain, Akbarsley as vice-captain, Torres is our key player, and Misevic is currently our hot prospect. So that is all very, very exciting. Now we have a quick look at what we are expecting to do in this coming season. We're expected to qualify for the Champions League. So there's a little bit of pressure on us now. That is top 2 in the league. Be competitive in the Champions League, which we should do. I'd like to think so anyway. Win the cup. Now, we didn't do what they said in that last season, and it ended up costing us Visinton and quite a bit of... disrest at the club for not meeting that goal. So we probably have to take that a little bit more seriously, though I can tell you we're not going to. It's going to be the Yags this year. We're going to play the kids in the cup. And yeah, and we've already won the Super Cup, so that's very, very nice. Now, the league season preview, and we can see that here. We are the favourites, as you can see. Now, surprisingly, Aussie promoted are 4th favourites to win the league, and they've done a bit of business in the transfer windows as well. I'll show you, but you may remember Misevic. Well, he has just signed for Aussie for potentially 4.3 million, which is a very big fee for a newly promoted team, I would have thought. So they mean business. I did check. They haven't had a consortium. They haven't had a takeover or anything. They've had a new president, but it was promoted from within. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but they might be dangers this year. I'll have a look at the dream team. It is mostly us, a couple of Dynamo players there. Interesting, Newtonen is the best goalkeeper, when I'm not even convinced if he's our best goalkeeper. And despite the fact we don't play with wingers, we have the best right winger in the league as well. So very, very good. Now, if we look at the best players or the key players, Torres and Brtic are up there at the top, which is excellent to see. And if we have a quick scroll down here, do we see anything? No former players, I don't think. No. So that is that. Now, one thing potentially to look out for this season might be Hajduk split, and that is because they have they've got rid of a lot of big earners like Maitland-Niles and a couple of others that have been around for a while now. So I suspect they might rejuvenate their squad. But yeah, you can see here Ivan Misevic, 4.3 million has come back to the league, and 17 grand a week. How Aussie are suddenly loaded. Anyway, one thing we've got to do before we get underway here is a quick flashback to last season and the goal that you guys voted as our goal of the season. I could have done a much better Hajduk split throw here, because it was this goal from Kakavenga, which was very nicely hit indeed. Alright, but we are starting against Brdo. Now, unfortunately, I've clicked through a little bit too quickly here, and I've missed that first screen with their formation and whatnot. So we'll go in blind. That'll be fun. Newtonen will start in goal for this one. It is Butchman and Williams as the back two. Torres and Holt will be the width. Sithole, Montel, Palumbo, Skoko. We've still got Siraj injured, not quite ready to come back here. We're not going to risk him early on, first game of the season. And then Lako and Brtic will be our front two. Alright, so we can see the team sheets here. The two that we've loaned to them, Terninski and Novak, are both in their starting lineups. This junior Sunday Yang has scored a few goals against us, but that shouldn't be concerning us here. Let's just go out there, relax, and the result should come. We are away from home, which makes you wonder why everybody was at buying fillet burgers, doesn't it? Don't think about it, just enjoy it. But yeah, so that's what I tell my wife all the time as well. Yeah, so this is going to be our first game of the season, obviously, the league anyway. We did beat Dynamo in that Charity Shield thing in the last and the end of this transfer special. Our window is still opened, of course. And as I said last episode, the issue that we have is trying to find the right players that make us better, that we can kind of afford as well, taking into account the fact we've got kids coming through. It's a very different challenge in that sense, the transfer windows here, than what we've had in previous editions of the game, because we've never really had an academy that was constantly producing, really good young players. We would have one or two good ones maybe, but not players that would come in and become sort of star players, whereas Siraj is arguably the star player of the team right now. So, or at least before Montel got here anyway. So yeah, it's a different challenge that we've had previously. Here we go with Brdo. Lacko gets it wide there for Torres. Torres, can he pull it back across goal? He chips it in. Palumbo was waiting. But Turninski against his parent team. Don't go doing too many of those, mate. I'll have to call you back. Holt. Oh, he does it easy in the end. And this is becoming a bit of a longer highlight. So yeah, I think what we'll do, the plan for the start of this season, we've never had a situation on the Impossible Dream where we've not had to qualify for the Champions League. I don't think, or did we have that with Queen of the South? Maybe we did. Lacko goes down, and well, if VAR checks that, I won't be disappointed if it's not given, because it looked extremely soft, and if it is given, then we'll gratefully take it. And it is given. So Brdo with a chance to open the scoring for us here. Brdo, he sticks it away. Wasn't thought the goalkeeper had it there, but his first of the season, very, very nicely done. And yeah, that'll be that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what Aussie do this year as well, given that they've spent a lot of money bringing back a goalkeeper that I thought we did quite well to sell for just... Did we sell him for $1 million? It was just under $1 million, I think, wasn't it? So yeah, I didn't think he was worth the money they've paid for him. But maybe you could argue we've struggled to fill his boots since he left. So maybe he was a lot better than I gave him credit for, as Williams knocks it down. Here we go now with Butchman. Butchman, nice ball wide for Holt. Holt, we know he can cross a ball. He goes in short for Palumbo. He'll get another chance. Holt, it's the... Oh, somebody shoot, will you? Montel again, back to Sithole, to Montel. Montel, wide for Torres. Torres, here we go. Torres in front of goal, and Brdo turns it in. And it is 2-0. And that is very, very nice indeed. The one position that we might be... I don't say whether we're short in it, but we're relying maybe more heavily on youngsters than we would ideally, would be centre-back. Because my thought is that as sort of a backup to... So obviously, we're looking at Williams and Butchman being the first choice too. As the backup to them, probably we're looking at Skolabar and Fatakanti. But then, if Fatakanti is Sithole's backup, I'll be leaving ourselves a little bit short there, relying on then Benik or Benasek to be sort of second choice as well. With the, if, and hypothetically, if Sithole gets injured, do we then have to play Fatakanti there? Or do we trust someone like Bosniak or Renokia to go and fill in that role? Yeah, see, these are sort of all the questions that I'm running through my head and trying to figure out what we can afford to do, what we want to do. Because what we don't want to do is take game time away from youngsters unnecessarily. But then if they're not good enough, then playing them is only going to cost us in the league as well. And as Brdo... I thought that was going in for a second then. Threatening a hat-trick. And yeah, like I was saying end of last season, the fact that, for now anyway, Brdo goes short. Oh, it's wonderfully worked. It's wonderfully worked. It might be a goal of the season contender in its own way. It was... I don't think we have a new set piece coach. He's certainly done his work over the summer, though. Look at that. That's spectacular. And it is 3-0 just before half-time. But yeah, what was I saying? It's just sort of knowing, like, are they good enough without, wanting to take game time away from youngsters, but then equally, because the Champions League is an automatic spot, we're effectively playing, the league is effectively for £12 million. So we can't afford, given that we have such a smaller stadium than Dinamo does to start with, we can't be affording to just give them 12 million every year. We've got to take that off them. And then hope that for the league, it's probably better for the league if they don't qualify in truth, and they go to the Europa League and have a better chance of doing more for coefficient points. As there is a header for Reece Williams, who makes it 4-0. Skoko's not having his best day out, so we'll get Misevic on. We already saw he's our hot prospect at the club. And we saw him last episode. He is training on... I tell you what, Williams is just a tower, isn't he? Yeah, he's training the house down right now, coming on really, really well. So we'll give him a chance to prove that. There's not too many other youngsters on the bench outside of centre-backs. Yeah, maybe Zinko could come on and have a game for... Well, I mean, Palumbo's playing well, but it's probably best if we leave... oh, and Misevic didn't take him long. He makes it 5-0. And yeah, we'll bring Zinko on for his first league game and get him used, because he's got to get used to playing midfield as well as sort of the new club. Maybe not the greatest goalkeeping there, but I wonder if we could send the goalkeeper out on loan to them. The problem we have with Brdo being in the top flight is that we can only loan them 3 players because we're in the same division. So, whilst it is good for those 3 players to be playing top flight football, we could really use... oh, and they've got one back there, and Utonen, I think, may have just lost his #1 shirt with that one, because I don't know what to make of him. Like, even the game says he's the best goalkeeper in the league. I mean, that's not great, is it? But I do wonder if we know he's a towering goalkeeper. I do wonder if what we don't see of him in terms of sort of commanding the area, claiming crosses, things like that, if that is what actually makes him a very good goalkeeper. And the downside to that is that, yeah, occasionally, because he's 11 foot tall, he doesn't get down to a low shot all that well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sell him straight away, so we'll have this season to sort of assess and see if we're happy with Pinter to be the #1, at least until January anyway. But yeah, he just continually doesn't really impress, does he? We've never really had a goalkeeper that's been dependable. I mean, maybe, as I say, in hindsight, maybe Misevic was actually just a good, dependable goalkeeper, and I was just looking for more. But anyway, let's hope Pinter's our guy. Brtic for Misevic. Misevic goes wide for Torres. Torres, he pulls it back. It's Lacko. Lacko to hold. He hit the post. And that will end the highlight. Brtic, of course, still on a hat-trick. Can he get the opening game hat-trick? I thought that was in. Zinko keeps it alive, but the cross is claimed. And, I mean, that's the sort of... I mean, we've already seen him throw one in his own net. But, I mean, that's the sort of goalkeeping that we want. We don't always get that from Utonen. But anyway, he's a bit of a strange one. It's 5-1 on the opening game of the season. You would expect us to put a score like that up against Brdo these days. But, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. So we go straight to the top of the league, which is excellent. Dinamo and Hajduk drew each other, so that's why they both have a point. And yeah, Rijeka's got off to a start as well. I wonder if that top 5 will sort of prove to be the top 5 of the season, actually. So Brtic sends Jarun top. That was it was a controversial penalty, I think, wasn't it? Got us on our way, really. But it did look a little soft, perhaps. But there we go. That, guys. Wait, right there. We'll come back and face Hajduk. Given that they've drawn Dinamo already, that might be a good test to see exactly where this squad's going to stand. All right, welcome back. Now, we are first game of the second game week. We are at home this time, our season opener to the Hajduk split. We're expecting a 4-2-3-1 out of them. And they'll have to trap them inside with their wingers and fullbacks. So we'll go and do that just now. This is the team we're sending out. Watchman's got a heavy match load. I was contemplating doing this anyway, so that works out. Brtic has a heavy match load. So Matanovic can come on for him. That is absolutely fine. So it is going to be Pinter in goal. Utonen's just, let me know what you guys think. He just doesn't endear himself to me. And I don't know why. I was really excited when we signed him because he looked like a good, fairly young... well, it's not that young, I suppose, but Finnish goalkeeper, and he's just not quite what I want, I don't think. Skolabar and Williams will be the back two. Torres and Rupnik will get the start in this one down the left. Sithole, Montel, Palumbo, Skoko, Lacko, and Matanovic is the rest of the team. All right, so we can see the team sheets. That is a very different looking Hajduk split side that we've seen in previous seasons. And like I say, I'm curious to see if that was, I imagine, say, for example, Maitland-Niles, he was on big money, wasn't he? All right, so do we just carry on our performance? Let's stick to the game plan. Yeah, I'm suspicious that that may have been a big part of the issue, so we're going to find out. And yeah, I mean, the thing is too, just because they've got those wages off the books doesn't necessarily mean that they've been able to replace those players well straight away. I mean, we know firsthand, don't we? The transfer window is so short from when it opens to when the season starts. I mean, it's 2 or 3 weeks, so maybe they haven't quite been able to freshen things up as they would have liked. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I think the big question marks over this season are Hajduk and Aussie. How strong are they going to be? And of course, they were the two teams that were fighting for against relegation, weren't they, when Aussie did go down a couple of seasons ago now. So it will be, yeah, you know, they're two clubs that should be at the other end of the table, and I suspect that might be where they're at this season. But I'm hoping anyway that we've put ourselves a little sort of you know, another couple of steps up the ladder on what they're going to be able to do now anyway. And of course, once we actually physically have that Champions League money, then that's going to help us as well, because we can invest that into the club behind the scenes and maybe get a couple more sit holes going at the training ground. Palumbo! Oh, that is absolutely stunning. Martin Palumbo. Every time I think I'm going to sell a player, they go and do something like that just to remind me, no, you know what? I think I've still got a use here. That is unsavable. You give me any goalkeeper in history, and they're not getting anywhere near that. That is the perfect free kick. Unbelievable. And I've hit encourage as well, which you never want to do. Palumbo, can he better it? Oh, I tell you what, he wasn't a mile away. But we've got a lead. Skolabar now over a free kick. This will be a really good test for him as well. There's a good ball for Matanovic. Oh, we're looking very, very nice. It was Skoko with the pass through. I did toy with the idea of starting Masevic, but we're playing Hajduk, and Skoko always destroys Hajduk. That was the team we bought him from, of course. And look at that. I mean, it's not even close to offside. And yeah, it's just what Skoko does. Nice round the corner pass, and I don't even know why we're checking that. At no point did it even look close. It's a cracking finish from Matanovic, but we kind of expect that from him now as well anyway. So, 2-0. Inside half, it was inside half an hour. We've ticked over that mark now. But yeah, this is all going very, very nicely. So yeah, what I think we're going to do with the Cup this season, I did kind of mention it. If you've watched The Impossible Dream before, what happens is we get to the point where the Cup becomes not really significant to us. So we're going to make it Academy graduates only. So that'll be Jags here, Jarun, or maybe it's Yags. Jarun Academy graduates. Lacko for his first for the club. He buries it. It's 3-0. And Hajduk are being put aside here. So yeah, that's what we'll do this season. So it'll give us a chance to, and we'll show more of the Cup games because it is going to be a more risky team selection. So we'll do that. Now, is it going to be just Jarun players? In truth, it might be if we sign one or two other young Croatian players. It might just be, in fact, plus just young Croatian players. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking more Kosic, the goalkeeper, is what that's who I'm thinking about there. As a nice ball through for Torres, and that was dipping as well. But we do have one or two decent young prospects that have come through our academy as well. So yeah, if we're going to do Yags, then probably we need to be all right, let's just go with that. We probably need to be faithful to it, but it's a good opportunity to give Kosic game time, so I'll have to see. Then I guess if I'd say that that's okay for Kosic, then I guess technically we could play Puljic, because he was a academy player at Dinamo, wasn't he? But he was not signed as a prospect. Here we go now with Torres. We might look to give him a bit of a rest in this second half. We get another goal, I think we can be fairly confident that the game's going our way, and then we might start to just rest one or two. We need to give Bosniak some game time. He's barely played all pre-season, so we can give Montella rest. Here we go with Lacko now. Lacko, nice run, nice pick out from Torres as well, and in the middle it's a massive deflection, but Palumbo's being credited with it. It is now 4-0. We won't make the change this close to half-time, but the new signings, Montel and Lacko particularly, are looking good, aren't they? Pinter's maybe he hasn't had much to do in goal, but what he has had to do, he hasn't thrown one in his own net, so that's positive. But then you wonder, would Utunen have done the exact same thing anyway? So we're getting to the point now where I think sit hole on a booking, we can rest you. So let's get Bosniak on for you. It's a good chance to see if Bosniak can actually play that position as well. I said I was going to rest Torres, so let's get Kovacic on for him. And then we'll need to pause it for the next one because we're running out of stoppages. So Skoko can come off again. He's had a much better game, but we'll give Misevic some game time. And let's rest Montel. He's not had a great game, but we'll get Zinko on. And we'll try him in a different role this time as the deep-lying playmaker and see if how that works out for him. Lacko wins the ball back for us nicely. Bosniak has come straight out and picked himself up a booking. Excellent work. Palumbo on a hat-trick now, of course, as well. Skoliba. He's looked pretty good, hasn't he? Which is promising. It means that I think we can possibly rely on him. There's a ball in, Matanovic, and it is flying over the top. The thing with Skoliba is that we kind of should know we can trust him because he played more or less every game for Brdo last season, and although they struggled, they did stay in the division. So he's shown that he can compete, and he would have had a lot to do, let's be honest, defending with for Brdo. So yeah, I think that is this is answering sort of any concerns that I had on that front, I think. So that's good. Can we get to that with Rupnik? We can. And we build from the back. Pinter. It's not going to be pronounced Pinter, is it? Because there's that little mark above the T. It's going to be something else, but obviously I don't have the knowledge or intelligence of other languages to have any idea what that means, and even if I did, I'd probably still mispronounce it. There's a good ball forward. Williams goes across, and Skoliba was in his face. He probably should have done, or we also had a block. Skoliba actually did really, really well. Corner to defend. And it is still danger. Oh, it's off the line by Rupnik, and it's ended up being saved, I think, or blocked behind by Rupnik. Has saved the goal twice there. This is probably where we would see the best out of Utunen, isn't it? From a corner, he would come out and probably have claimed that much better than Pinter's attempt. Here we go now with Misevic in a wide area. He has got free of his man. He's got free of a second man. He floats the cross in. Matanovic is there. He was just waiting for it, wasn't he? And I'm pretty sure he's behind the ball, if nothing else. I'd be surprised if this was ruled out. And there it is, 5-0. So we scored 10 goals in our first 2 games of the season. We definitely look like we may have taken a step up on the rest of the league. And of course, that's the thing, isn't it, with young players, is that even without signing anybody, you do naturally get better because the young players are getting better themselves. So it was a fairly quiet transfer window. I usually like to get stuff done early on anyway. But I pretty much had everybody signed before the transfer special even started, I think. But yeah, the guys that we've signed look like they're doing well. The youngsters look like they've definitely taken a step forward. And the old blokes like Williams and Palumbo aren't doing too badly themselves here, are they? So, excellent stuff. It's 5-0 against Hajduk Split. And, well, I think we've got the league's number this season because that was the team that drew Dinamo in the first game of the season. So yes, it was the first game of the second game week, but no one's going to be overtaking us unless someone can win by 8 between Osijek and Rijeka. Then we're going to be top of the league after 2. Doesn't it? What if we could go flag to flag here and lead the league the whole season, doesn't it? But anyway, we've done quite well there. Rupnik is I'm still not convinced completely by him, but he does a good job when he plays. So I've sold Deliver Bora now. We might as well get on board, or I might as well get on board. But anyway, that is that. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and we'll come back somewhere around the end of the transfer window. So around Rijeka, Dinamo, and for the Champions League fixtures when they're released. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. I'll get this season underway, and yeah, I mean, if we keep going, scoring 5 goals a game and no one getting anywhere near us, I mean, we could have this league wrapped up by Christmas. Take care.